Welcome to the latest edition of It's Not Only Zebedee Boings, and today we're in the Regis Suite at the Hawthorns and a very special guest. Many Albion fans, of course, will know. So if you haven't guessed, our special guest today is none other than
club photographer, Laurie Rampling.
Now, how many years have you been following the Albion then?
I've been following the Albion now since 1954, Cup final, and I've been snapping here since 1974. So there you are.
How many photos do you reckon you've snapped?
One or two.
Just one or two?
Well, just one or two, yeah, one or two. I'll be able to get home tonight and I'll dig them both out.
We'll be looking at both of those photos later in the programme, but first of all, have a look at this. Now we're out again on the road, and we've come back to Bratislava again to meet somebody and to present a cap to somebody who played just 6 games for West Bromwich Albion. Not particularly well known in the Black Country, but he's a household name here in Bratislava.
Takto a potom Jan Kozak z anglickej ligy, takže tie spomienky nie sú ideálne, ale všetko okolo klub, fanúšikovia, zázemie. Takže na to mám len tie najkrajšie spomienky a budem si to pamätať určite celý život.
So memories are very nice because for many Slovak football players it is a dream to play in Premier League. So for me it happened. I played in a Premier League. Of course, if you look according to results, it was not so successful because we were relegated to the second division, but on the other side, everything about the football in England, everything about the fans, about the club, it was perfect, it was very nice. So this was very, very nice, and I will remember it until the end of my life. So yes, the manager, Robson, he is a legend, and I was speaking with him often, even about Manchester United and about his previous successes. So he was a very good manager and very good experience to work with him. And with the players, I think that maybe the biggest personality was Kanu, who won the Champions League before. He was playing in Arsenal, so maybe he was the, let's say, the biggest star in that time in West Brom.
What do you think of living in England and being in West Bromwich?
The most important thing for me was to fulfill my dream to play in England, so that was the ambition why I came there. And of course, the person needs to little bit adapt to fast changes of the weather and about the typical British weather, but this was okay. And in that time I was a father of small baby, so that was another factor which I need to be used for that and need to manage everything in my life. So, but the living in England, in West Brom, it was okay for me, and I had no issues, and as I said before, the very nice memories stayed in my mind about this.
Yeah, and finally, is this true that you were well known for playing golf football? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Tak áno, tak po kariére vlastne futbalovej som hľadal už.
After the end of my professional football career, I was looking for something else because I still wanted to stay connected with football. That was the reason why I started to play foot golf, and it was a very nice activity and very nice sport. I was 2 times in World Championships or in foot golf, and once I got the bronze medal for the third place. So it was a very nice success. And now when I am head coach of Slovan, I don't have so much time to play foot golf. So, but maybe once I will come back to that, we will see. And now the England, I think they are the best in foot golf in Europe. They won the European Championships, and the best football players from England.
Takže pozdravujem všetkých fanúšikov West Bromiču a naďalej podporujte tento výborný klub.
Welcome back then to the Hawthorns, and our special guest is Laurie Rampling. Now this month in 1963, Laurie, it saw the very last appearance in club colours at the Albion for one of your all-time heroes.
What can I say about Kev? He was my all-time hero, and one of the reasons I actually came here on that Boxing Day in 1961 was my school teacher, Mr. Walsham, was an avid Wolves fan, and I used to, let's just say, he didn't have a lot of hair, but what hair he had, he pulled out, because over every one of my textbooks and my exercise books, I used to write Derek Kevan's signature. And I've got Derek Kevan's signature so many times that I could probably repeat it in my brain, you know, and from memory. But I used to write all over my books, and then one day he came to me, he said, Rampling, come here. I said, what's up, sir? He said, I'm getting fed up with you writing Derek Kevan's name over your books. I said, okay, right. Well, I said, but you know why I do it, don't you, sir? So I said, yes, because I'm a Wolves fan. I said, yeah, there you are. So I said, I'll tell you what. He said, I'm going up to the game on Boxing Day. Do you want to come with me? No, I don't think you get a teacher asking a kid to do that now, could you? And I said, yeah. I'll have to ask my dad first. So my dad said, yeah, of course you can. And I remember we came up, I went up with my dad's bus up to Aldgate. I jumped in at Aldgate and went to Paddington, as it was then. And I met John Walsham at Paddington, and we travelled up in this old steam train, you know, cold as hell, you know, it was. And I had my big coat on, you know, I could imagine it, Boxing Day. And my first memory, Norman, was walking from Hawthorns Holt station, walking up. What you come off the train, having come from Snow Hill, Paddington to Snow Hill in those days, off the train, and you walked up the bank from the train, and then you get to the top of the bank, and you can see the ground, the lights, and that is a vivid image that sticks in my mind to this very day. The first time I saw the Hawthorns live, and although it was a cold day, it's etched on my brain forever. Derek Kevan scored in a 1-1 draw. It was an equally cold ride home on the train, but it was a day I'll never forget. I got to know Derek. We were big pals later on in life, and you know, and sadly, when he walked through the door and the man you knew, sit down, have a pint with, couldn't recognise you. You know that I mean, we've all, lots of us have had family experiences like that, as I have with my mother. But that is sad. Yeah. When the person you knew is not there anymore. Yeah. You know, because Kev was my big hero, my first big hero, and to this day, if anyone said to me, you know, who's your hero, overriding hero, Derek Kevan, all day long, and we're sitting. In the Kevan suite, underneath is an international cap, and my proudest possession is I've got one of his caps. Oh, yeah? Yes, I have. On my wall in my office, and it's just fantastic, mate. Lovely. Yeah. Memories of Kev. Sad he's no longer with us, mate. Yeah. But you know, that's the circle of life, pal, I'm afraid.
Back in March 1950, footballer Ronnie Allen signed for West Bromwich Albion for £18,000. Within days, he was to become a new hero in half of the Black Country at least, as he scored on his debut against rivals Wolverhampton Wanderers. Well, now 70 years on from that momentous game, Baggies fans have shared stories of their former hero.
Ronnie was signed by Albion from Port Vale in 1950, and he famously made his scoring debut, a 1-1 draw here against the Wolves, which was a great debut, of course.
And I was a little kid. I was 9, nearly almost 10, and I just fell in love with him that day. He was little. He was only about 5'7", no, about 10.5 stone, with a fantastic shot in either foot.
The story that always comes to mind is not being allowed into the ground because the gate man, the players, didn't recognise him and had no knowledge of who Mr. Allen was. And hopefully that gate man knew all about Ronnie Allen at the end of the game, because I said he scored against the Wolves on his debut, and of course until Tony Brown took over, he was the record holder for goals here.
I grew up with Ronnie Allen. As I said, I was 9 when he came, and I was 20 when he left. So all through my teenage years, I very, very rarely missed a game up here, and so I saw him play all that. You know, they were just a fantastic side in every way. I just couldn't keep away from the place. I was just a young chap who'd been nowhere else, and this was like my second home. And I'd never met him. I'd never met any of them. They were like film stars to me. They were just on a different, like, even though they were just, you know, ordinary people. But when they had his testimonial against the Villa, I came up and I got one of the front seats where the players come out with my son. And I'd got his book, It's Only Goals That Count, and my son said, bring it up. I'd got it with me, but I didn't bring it. And they brought him round the pitch on a golf, you know, what do you call it, a buggy, golf buggy. Yeah, and he was ill at the time. I think he was suffering with dementia a bit. And as he came, he put his hand out, and I held his hand, and I told him it was the best I've ever seen, and he just kept looking at me, never loosed my hand. He just kept staring at me, like, you know, it was a poignant moment, really, like, you know. Oh, he was fantastic.
So that's it then from this programme. So from Laurie and myself, goodbye and thanks for watching.
Thank you very much and goodbye.